What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP, and this is my co-host, Josh.
Hey, everyone.
And welcome back to another episode of the FilmBros podcast. All right. Well, we've got word, Josh. We were kind of low-key talking about it over the weekend, actually, when, our guest had came over to the house and everything, and we kind of have brought up the whole Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk fight. We did talk about it in a previous episode too.
Yeah.
I don't know, what, last week, I believe? It was last week's, one of last week's episodes. So if you guys haven't checked that out, go check it out right now. And before we start hitting the topics, if you guys are wanting to catch up on any episodes, if you guys want to support us in a big way, if you guys want to interact with us, Josh, let them know where they can let us know.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, FilmBros Podcast. Hit us up there for anything you want us to cover. Listen to us on the go wherever you get your podcasts, and support us in a big way. Buzzsprout links are in those bios. Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. Subscribers get special perks and shout outs. So go ahead and do all that.
Perfect. So, like I was saying though, let's just dive right into it. It turns out it's probably not gonna happen. We kind of figured, we kind of knew,
yeah,
but it seems like suddenly confirmed. So after those tweets that happened in our that we talked about in our last episode, where basically Elon said that he's ready and he'll go ahead and put all the proceeds on to charity, that they'll stream it on Twitter X. We had a Zuckerberg respond to him, say, "No, I've been saying that we've been having a date, but you guys, you're ducking and dodging me, whatever." Now we're at the point where, after Zuckerberg responded, Elon basically came out and said that he wants to do a practice round in the backyard of Zuckerberg's house to basically get the feel for it, that he's going to be needing surgery, that he hasn't trained yet, so it's going to take some time before he gets into that form. So Zuckerberg decided to tweet out and just be done with this whole fight shenanigan, and he not tweet, but he put it on his threads. He says, "I think we can all agree Elon isn't serious and it's time to move on. I offered a real date. Dana White offered to make this a legit competition for charity. Elon won't confirm a date, then says he needs surgery, and now asks to do a practice round in my backyard instead. If Elon ever gets serious about a real date and an official event, he knows how to reach me. Otherwise, time to move on. I'm going to focus on competing with people who take the sport seriously."
Damn.
And basically left it at that. Elon basically tweeted it out, a picture of his a screenshot of it, and basically said that he can't eat at Chick-fil-A because that'd be cannibalism. Basically calling him a chicken and nerd. Yeah. Just call him a fucking chicken, my man.
Yeah, you ain't got to do all that.
And you know what? He put out this highly detailed letter, and all you have to say is, "Oh, chicken." It's like, boy, you just said you had to do surgery and a practice fight, and I don't know. I was really hoping this fight was going to go through, but it just seems like...
What the fuck? Surgery and training? Homie's talking about, like, almost, recovery, depending on what he gets the surgery on, like, 6 months probably, and then another of that, he's going to be laying up in bed, so it's probably going to be a good year before they even get a fight. Year and a half, yeah. By then, Zuckerberg has put down, like, 2 other opponents, and Elon is barely getting into shit. Yeah, the bull fucking shit. This was not gonna happen. Although I wish it was. Just come out swinging. You don't need training. There's recent big boxers who haven't put in any work and they still getting dubs. So I mean, you don't really need to train. I know training can help, but against someone who, like I said,
you need to train, especially against Zuckerberg, who looks fucking legit.
He literally, like I said, he does that shit daily. Like instead of in the office,
Elon is not gonna walk in there and look like a dumbass. He's not. That's not gonna happen. He's gonna.
Sounds like a bitch to me. No.
Well, of course, and that's because he knows he's gonna lose. He called out this fight, not giving him enough time. He basically said, "I can whoop his ass on sight."
Basically,
and it's like
practice run.
he was like, "Yeah, I could whoop his ass on sight," and then Zuckerberg basically took his shirt off and was like, "You said something," and Elon was like, "Oh, boop, 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 boop. I don't know what I was saying."
It reminds me of a Friday where he's like, "Man, I got mind control over Debo. When he says shut the fuck up, I'll be quiet, but when you walk away, I'll keep talking."
Yeah, that's basically the way it goes.
Oh my man,
Elon is out there playing a game of dice, and here comes Debo coming up to snatch his fucking chain.
Yep. Oh man, no, it doesn't make sense. I wish it was gonna happen though. That shit sounded funny.
It would have been a hilarious fight,
Mm-hmm.
but Elon knows that it would have been a hilarious fight, and we would have been laughing at him. So, though I think he's chicken shit for backing out, I think it's a smart decision, I guess, for his career.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be known as the guy who built Tesla, but then got smacked around by Zuckerberg.
Like, hey, man, SpaceX is doing wonderful things, but Elon Musk got his ass beat by the world's biggest nerd, so it's...
Yeah, shit sticks to people. I mean, from here on out, what are you going to remember Will Smith for? The slap or that table talk thing? The meme. It depends. Michael Jordan, he's that meme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Once you associate yourself with something and the internet takes hold, it's a done deal. So Elon is making the right decision for sure. Like I said, if there's any way we could make it happen, I'm willing to help make it happen too. I don't know what we can do. Maybe just cheer it on. Woo! Come on, guys.
Fuck. How the fuck you gonna ask to go for a practice round in homie's backyard? What the hell? You're gonna walk out limping? I'll get you in the ring. What the fuck?
I'll catch you on the next one, sissy.
That doesn't make no sense.
We just gotta... It's just to make sure that there's no cameras rolling when he gets his ass whooped, so he can be like, all right, next time I know what he's gonna hit me with. He's like the slow Sherlock Holmes. You know when Sherlock Holmes, he like calculates it as it goes?
Yeah.
Elon got to get his ass whooped and then come back and put in that work.
Discombobulate.
Yeah, that's basically it. So, if you guys were hoping for an Elon versus Zuckerberg fight, sadly, it's not going to be happening anytime soon. Unfortunately. It would have been hilarious, but it's not going to happen. Yeah. But, something that is going to happen is some funny shit right now. We're talking about Zachary Levi again. My boy cannot shut the fuck up, but we still haven't seen him on the picket line.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, we had Stephen Amell out there being forced to be put on the picket line for whatever he did.
Mm-hmm.
So, Zachary Levi made an appearance at the Chicago Fan Expo, and he spoke to Entertainment Weekly. And he was out there telling the attendees at the event to avoid Hollywood garbage. And this is his quote. This is what he says. He says, "I personally feel like the amount of content that comes out of Hollywood, that is garbage. They don't care enough to actually make it great for you. Guys, they don't. How many times do you have to watch a trailer and go, oh my God, this looks so cool. And then you go to the movies and it's like, what I get? They know that once you already bought the ticket and you're in the seat, they've got your money. And the only way for us to change any of it is to not go to garbage. We have to actively choose the garbage. It'll help. Actively not choose the garbage. It'll help a lot." I mean, he's right. And that's why Fury of the Gods flopped. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
It all comes full circle, Zachary Levi, you dumb fuck.
Oh my God, dude.
He's so dumb. He's like, I feel like he's like one of those people where it's like, say you're in a friend group. I'm sure this probably happened to you or other listeners, but say you're in a friend group and someone tells a joke, but the whole group doesn't hear it. He's one of those people who will be like, tell that same joke that he just heard. You know what I mean? So, but to louder people, like I feel like he's that guy. You know what I'm talking about?
No, say it again.
Oh my goodness! Other people might get it. I don't want to talk about it again.
I don't understand.
In a friend group, say you're telling a joke, but no one laughs, right?
Nobody laughs
because they're not paying attention to what you're talking about, whether it be to someone else or whatever.
Yeah.
Zachary Levi is that kid to take your joke, say it to the group, make them laugh, and then just be like, "Oh no, he stole my joke."
Oh, you think he's a joke taker?
Yeah.
Oh.
Based off this alone, we've been calling shit out for garbage for a while, and now all of a sudden, oh, don't consume garbage. Like, yeah, no, this is why your movie did terrible, and you know you had to come out and try to save it with your whack press tours.
Something like that. I personally think with this whole situation, it's just ironic. I find it to be ironic. He's in Hollywood garbage. Shazam! Fury of the Gods 2. Well, though it's not the worst movie out there, it wasn't
the best.
It wasn't golden either. And if we want to be honest, that movie could fall in the category of a manufactured superhero movie. It had no soul, no nothing. It was a repeated thing that we've seen multiple times already, trying to copy and paste from somebody that they've not had since fucking 2016, 2017. Yeah. So, to me, Zachary Levi going on these weird rants, you know, we have the one back in the day, the ancient one, the epic one. Oh, the Snyder Cut? That doesn't exist, right? And then you have the most recent things, the SAG. Well, first of all, his after the movie, nobody was watching that shit in theaters rant that don't watch John Wick 4 because if that's your cup of tea, pew pew pew, you want to watch a family movie, come watch Shazam or whatever. It's like, okay, and then you have the whole SAG thing that just happened in our previous episode. Go check that one out. And now we have him coming out and trying to virtual signal, saying to don't watch garbage. I know we looked up his movies before. He wasn't in any bangers.
Nope.
He's still not in any bangers.
Quite unfortunate.
There is Hollywood garbage out there. And we can actively avoid it ourselves. We don't need to be told. It's just actors like him who will 100% say that his movie is so good. Mm-hmm. I mean, we heard him say it in the clip before when he was talking about the SAG strike, when he was like, oh, where I played the most handsomest prince ever or whatever. Like,
yeah,
his movies are golden. And that's how every actor sees their movies, no matter what. Or maybe they don't like it, but they still got to promote the fuck out of them. They still got to be like, oh, this is the best movie out there. The Flash, this is the best comic book movie of 2023.
Something like that.
It's you promote your own movie that you don't realize is shit. It's basically walking around acting like your shit don't stink, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, man, you just dropped the shit right there. You're over here telling us not to watch it, but you dropped it right there, bro. That doesn't work out.
It's kind of funny because it doesn't work. And while some movies deserve praise, Zachary Levi again hasn't been in any bangers as of recently. That first one kind of did him wonders and probably could have pushed him on the map, depending on how you look at things. But this second one just kind of tanked. It like that shit fell hard. There's no way you're talking about.
Let's be honest.
Hollywood garbage.
We already have a review out there, so if you guys want to hear the full review, we have a Shazam 2 review.
Yeah, we tore it to shreds. But
the thing is that, and I'm not even talking about. You know what? I'm gonna get a little personal with Zachary Levi right now. Fuck all the movie shit. Let's work on your own acting, my man. Let's do that first. Let's work on the acting first, because in Shazam 2, you couldn't even act like the child you were supposed to be portraying.
Mm-hmm.
You were this wacky, goofy, over the top, whatever the fuck, adult acting like a kid. You made it seem like you were acting like a kid, and that's a problem. Don't give us shit performances. I'd say that too. I'll be one ahead of you before you decide to try to, say that joke too. Fucking
imagine some actors will take mad offense to that. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" You know what I mean?
Who, me?
No, some actors. Like, imagine he comes out and says some actors should really work on what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Some people are gonna look at him like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
And that's the thing, is that out of respect, he probably wouldn't say shit like that. But at the same time, it's like, man, somebody should be saying it to you, and maybe your movies might be coming out a little bit better, because everybody's biggest thing with that movie too was the fact that he was very so flip flop.
Yeah.
We're not, like I said, it wasn't a terrible movie. There was aspects of it that where it could have been good, but the problem is it was too generic, and well, let's be honest, you just couldn't capture the Billy Batson part.
Basically,
it is what it is, man. Take the L again, Zachary Levi. I don't understand why he keeps doing this. I don't understand.
Why can't no one stop him? Take away the mic from him.
There's no movies coming up with him, right?
No.
Oh, the Spy Kids.
Well, yeah, but you can't promote that.
I know, but still, he wants to stay relevant. So if the strike does stop, because if you notice, right, who's still going to events and stuff like that? Who's still touring? You're seeing these actors still doing their rounds or whatever. They're not promoting things, but they're still doing their rounds. Why? They're trying to keep relevance, keep the fan base happy. They're doing their roundabouts around the world, meeting fans, signing stuff. They can't really, like I said, promote their movies, but they can promote themselves as actors, like meet and greets and shit like that. So when it comes down time to it, which I don't know how well these comments are really going to work for him when the whole strike is over, because this could very well definitely come back and bite him in the ass.
Yeah,
a good chunk of this kind of stuff. And then, directors are going to be like, what movies are you calling garbage, guy? The fuck? Like, whose movies is garbage?
Whose movies?
Yeah, they're going to grill him. He's going to try to get a movie role in Christopher Nolan's role. He's going to be like, nah, my movie garbage or what? It's just gonna hit him with the what's up, fool? Gatekeep it now. I'm telling you, man. That's how it's gonna be.
I can imagine. He just gets blacklisted. He called all our movies garbage. My God.
I mean, and it's true. There is studio movies, right? We do have studio made movies, and if he really wanted to make a difference or really prove something out, maybe he should be calling out names at this point. He could easily say, we want studios, right? Because he did say studios, which is, it does make sense. There is a lot of studio interference within movies, and they kind of pump out whatever they feel analytics say is going to make the audience happy. So why not say no to crappy movies? Why didn't he say, you know what, Shazam 2, or let's say Shazam 1, all the way back to Shazam 1. If he would have called out Warner Brothers and been like, you know what, we can't do this scene without Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Let's all band together. We cannot do this scene without Henry Cavill. Zack Snyder is our leadership to this DC universe. We all need to band together. Why didn't nobody do that? Why didn't anybody do that before? No, nobody cared. But then when their movie starts tanking and when it's about their relevancy and stuff like that, all of a sudden it's, don't make garbage movie studios.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, like you can't work for the man and then put a middle finger to the man at the same time. It's hypocritical.
Yeah. That's the best way to put it. I got really nothing else other than it doesn't make sense for him to come out and say these things. Out of all people, him. You know what I mean? Now, you could probably hear this from like Leonardo DiCaprio or someone higher listed up, but him? Of all people? I don't know. Like, this is something Samuel L. Jackson would say. And then you'd be like, okay, that makes sense. Because he'd say some shit.
He wouldn't say that kind of shit. I feel like Samuel L. Jackson speaks for, I feel like everybody, a good chunk of actors know how to make sure to keep the quiet things quiet and not say the quiet stuff out loud. I feel like Zachary Levi just doesn't know how to shut up, and he says everything out loud. That rant that he did on Instagram Live, that what he said on that stage about the Snyder Cut, the whole SAG union strike comments that he did, is just, he is somebody, and it's fine. We need talkers in this world who gets, like Tom Holland too. You know how like shit just slips. You just get emotional, you get excited, and you just talk and you talk and you talk, and things slip out, and you're just speaking. And you're not thinking that it could be taken in a wrong way, but it is what it is. You said what you said. Those are the people that need to be regulated on how much time they can be at fan events, or you know what should they say, or what to avoid to say, or maybe get them some lessons with that. Zachary Levi is somebody who kind of shoots at the hip with whatever he wants to say, which is cool at times.
No, it's not.
There's things that you don't say though. There's things that you don't say. There's things that you can say. But like I said, you can't work and make shit movies and then call out studios for producing shit movies at the same time. you should be like, the script is shit, and I'd be like, oh, I absolutely loved the script from Shazam 2. It was wonderful, very cinematic, peak. I'd say peak.
Cinematic. Yeah, I guess.
Zachary Levi, the type of dude to be like, he had to pick, if somebody came up to him and was like Shazam 2 or Oppenheimer, he'd be like Shazam 2 all the way. Shazam 2.
Have you seen it? I have all the copies. I don't know. I got nothing more to say about him. It's weird that he just comes out and says things like this.
Levi, goodbye, man. It is what it is, bro. If he has more to say, we're obviously gonna keep talking about it. But at the same time, my man, please
shut up.
Shut up.
It's time to shut up.
Or
join the picket line.
Or give us more content. That's fine. You can. More content's good too. I appreciate it. Moving on though. Rumor time. We got a bunch of rumors from the rumor mill. A lot of reliable sources came out and decided to back up some claims, some not. I know there was a lot of things going around. We got Channing Tatum's Gambit is supposedly making an appearance. We had Magneto is supposedly Wanda is supposedly gonna be in there, and then it was told that she's not gonna be in there, and that so many people were getting to the point where these multiversal movies are either going to be great movies or big letdowns, because Deadpool 3 is basically becoming Doctor Strange Mom 2.0, because what did we think was going to happen in Multiverse of Madness? You know what I mean? Everybody was saying we're going to get a Tom Cruise Iron Man. We're going to get all the Spider-Man in there. We're going to get all these different like variations, and then we just kind of got what is an epic roster, but at the same time very short-lived. So felt very lackluster within the movie, if that makes sense. So the rumor mill now is that apparently Fahi, before the strikes happened, right before, has spoken to Hugh Jackman for a potential role in Secret Wars, a potential big role in Secret Wars, and has also talked to Andrew Garfield for a potential return as Spider-Man and a pretty big role within the two Avengers movies. And this is all coming from Daniel RPK. He's a known scooper, very reliable. I don't report on anything that we don't have at least credible sources to, so he's very credible on Twitter and everywhere else, and Variety picks up his scoops all the time, so very reliable stuff. So it could potentially be true. Something might happen, but I mean, what do you expect? Anything? Do you think this is all a hoax? Do you think that people are getting their hopes up? Do you think that this is just so epic in scale it's just too good to be true?
Well, yeah, it's obviously too good to be true. There's no way that Kevin went out of his way to talk to these people to give him a big role, because that's how you get stuff in movies, and stuff movies don't work unless it's like a quick blink and you miss it type of cameo. That's different, but I don't know where they could fit. I don't know. It feels like another multiverse thing, but that's not what Secret Wars is. You know what I mean? Or whatever they got going on. Whatever these movies are called. It's Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, right?
Yeah, it's Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars.
Like, Secret Wars is not this big multiverse cameo fest. It's a different story, and it's big. This movie, I don't know how the fuck they're gonna adapt it. If they half-ass adapt it, I know this movie can probably tank. Like, I don't know where it can go, but stuff in all these multiverse things in there sounds like they don't have a concrete story, and so it's gonna be a lot of like, hey, look at this. Remember this character that was there 10 years ago? Here he is again in his suit. You know what I mean?
Well, according to some synopsis, and this is taken with a grain of salt, this is why I didn't make it a big topic, but I will at least acknowledge that I've seen it to, put it out there. So potential spoilers for Kang Dynasty, potential spoilers for Secret Wars. That apparently there's going to be, in Kang Dynasty, there's going to be 3 main Kangs that they got to defeat. I think they said it was like Roma Tut, and 2 different variations of Kangs.
The 3 that were in the post-credit scene for Quantumania.
Basically. And that we would see 3 teams of Avengers, basically 1 team per Kang. So you're going to need characters to fill up the slots. It's just how much screen time and arc are you actually going to be able to give, and not just make it a boom, pam, pow fest, you know? And it does sound stuffed. Secret Wars sounds a little bit more simpler, but it will be that basically, I'm sure that we'll get that cameo fest still, but it's going to be not as heavy as in Secret Wars. I think we'll probably get that epic moment, probably like an endgame type feel or something like that towards the end, but that's about it.
I don't know. This already sounds like a mess. Stuffing all those people in Deadpool 3 makes sense, sure, because, again, I imagine it's going to be a lot of blink if you miss it type shit. If they're taking down Fox, I expect to see Fox characters. That makes sense. But I don't know how it's going to work for these Avengers movies. Like, they're big plots to handle, and people already have a problem with these movies adapting comics correctly. Like, it's gonna be a big thing.
That's something too that I was worried about as well, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, Secret Invasion," but it had nothing to do with the Secret Invasion comic. It was nothing.
Exactly.
So we're obviously gonna get the same thing with these movies. So is it a big letdown if it's not completely what you're expecting at this point? I think Marvel's already making it known, like, hey, we're taking these names, we're just not adapting it 100%.
Yeah.
So can you really, are you able to have your feelings get so hurt at that point?
It depends on how big of a fan you are of those stories. I know some people will be like, oh, it is what it is, and then you got comic readers who are just like, well, this is not it at all, and what, so on and so forth, and we get it. Endgame and Infinity War weren't it either. Half the roster that was in the comics wasn't even in that movie. So sometimes you just gotta work with what you got and what they had at the time. They didn't have the X-Men, they didn't have all those people. Now they kind of do. They own all of those. They kind of own all those people, and what they don't own, they can use. It's just a lot of how are they gonna adapt it? How are they gonna fit all these people and adapt it correctly? And while yes, it'd be cool to see Andrew Garfield, but I don't want to see him get wasted. I don't want as a cameo. Same thing with Wolverine. Like I don't want him to overstay his welcome, because again, how is he being alive not ruin what happened in Logan? You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of, because he was put to bed. It's like there's got to be a time to put these characters to bed.
Is there? Or can we just keep making movies with them? I mean, is it really a bad thing if they continue the role? Like, if Robert Downey Jr., if he wasn't so fucking expensive, don't you think Disney would still want him as RDJ? Don't you think he would still want to be? I mean, if you were still making steady cash flow off these movies, don't you think, it would be nice to finally have an end or whatever to some characters, but you're not telling me that you wouldn't still be excited if RDJ was still alive in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Like, imagine if it was Captain America who sacrificed himself instead of RDJ, and you still had him in the movies. Like, that would be cool. Like, imagine where we could take the story if he was still there. I mean...
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's different if they're alive and they're continuing to develop it. You know what I mean? It's not like Bucky, where he lived through all that, now you're expecting him to rest. No, you're going to continue to play with him because he's alive. But people like Logan, Iron Man, they're dead. They died canonically. There's a time to put them to bed. Like, you gotta leave him there. Charles Xavier, I know there's a rumor going around where he's part of the Illuminati, and Magneto.
The Illuminati?
The Magneto might take his spot, whatever, forming that universe's Illuminati again. And I'm like, well, good. At least now it's not a variant of Charles. It's someone who was close to him, Magneto, which makes sense. And I hear it's gonna be Ian McKellen again, or whatever, how you ever say his name. But I imagine that makes sense story wise. Don't bring back someone you killed just to fill a spot. That sounds terrible.
Yes, and 100% yes. But at the same time, wouldn't you want to see your characters interact with each other? And I understand continuity is a big thing, but is it so wrong if this is their continuity? And I personally don't I feel the same way you do when it comes to Logan and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, because you're right, they did put him down to sleep. So why would they bring him back? You know, if you already put this character down, why bring him back in the first place? Just recast him. That's what I was hoping, and that's what I was thinking that they were going to probably go through. But they are just bringing him back, obviously, for the money. But aren't you there at the same time to give them the money for that?
Well, yeah. Obviously.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you find it distasteful, but you're still going to go watch Deadpool 3.
Well, yeah. That's the conflict.
So you find it distasteful, but you're still going to watch the movie?
Well, obviously, yeah. I like those movies, and while I can disagree that using them again is still weird and whatever else, I'm still gonna watch it just to see how they execute it, and then I can totally be like, well, no, it was a waste of time. You know what I mean? That's just how it goes with anything. The Flash, same thing. Like we didn't know they were gonna desecrate those actors.
So do you think if the movie's good, but the reason and how they brought him back is horseshit, would that ruin the movie for you?
A little bit, because then at that point you're like, oh, you only brought him back for this, and then you took him for a joyride. No, that's not how that should.
And
be
though
done.
the flips and shit were cool during this joyride, I'm still mad that you brought him back.
Basically,
I don't know. I kind of find it to be like fan service.
well,
And
obviously, yeah, it's gonna get you in the seat.
So that's why I'm like, I find it to ruin the experience of the movie, but I can personally separate it. But I find it to, I mean, they're putting him in the movie for a reason. Now, if it is just a one and done thing, that would, in my opinion, just be like okay, they just wanted maybe he can come out later to be like, I just wanted to play in the MCU for a little bit, you know what I mean? And then bow out, that'd be fine. But maybe now Hugh Jackman's just like, well, the MCU's willing to pay. If they're willing to pay, then I'm willing to play. And let's be honest, he's probably going to make more than what he was making as Wolverine during the Fox era, So it could be lucrative for him, but I guess distasteful for some fans like you.
No, it just depends on how it's done, and again, they could totally be one and done characters, but that's not what I want. I prefer if I'm gonna get it, I prefer there be substance there, not
so
just
Wolverine's
shiny
coming
colorfuls.
back. Wolverine's coming back. You want him for the long haul, or how would you want them to play with this?
I would want another arc out of him if that's the case. Something we haven't seen before. Something where it's like.
So you'd be okay if he plays the Wolverine within the MCU?
Yeah, but eventually, again, he'd have to give it up. He'd have to give it up to X-23 if they decide to do her, or give him a son. I don't know, something like that.
So maybe like a couple movies only.
Yeah.
Maybe like a couple movies and set him up to pass the torch.
Yeah, or like if they do keep him around and they decide not to kill him again, make him that mentor that Charles always wanted him to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you can't get 2 Wolverine deaths. You can't just be like, he died in Logan, and he died within the MCU as well.
Yeah, it's
unless they make it like a sad common phenomenon within the multiverse.
I think that's Iron Man. I think the constant is that Iron Man has to die in every universe. I know people were theorizing that, but I think
because the what if.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's kind of what I believe too.
Just like eventually he needs to die.
He has to go. Especially if he started the entire thing, it's fitting that he goes and the world continues to thrive without him.
I'd still like to have seen him. And I mean, since we talked a little about Wolverine, and we kind of know your stance on how the character should be used. Mm-hmm. What about Andrew Garfield? How would you play with him within the MCU? Would you want to see him for the long haul? Would you want him to not be in there and maybe be in Sony's movies?
I want him to get a fitting ending because he never got one. That's the difference between, I guess, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield never got a fair chance.
Well, I'm assuming, because it is Sony's characters, and if Tom Holland is MCU Spidey, I'm assuming his appearance in Secret Wars and maybe potentially Kang Dynasty,
maybe
could be just that crossover event, and he could be Sony versus Spider-Man, right? And that could be very good for the fans, very good for you,
maybe
very good for me. I'd be happy.
It just
I would want to see him. I just don't. Let's be honest. he did good in No Way Home, but you can't beat the visuals from Sony's Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Mm-mm.
You can't beat those.
No.
Those looked masterfully, beautifully done. The eye for like the swinging, the way the webbing works when it's like it actually feels like a bungee cord.
Yeah.
Like the realism is completely different than what happened in No Way Home, and I think Sony would be very wise to do what they did with those movies in a potential TASM 3 Secret Wars crossover, whatever. But yeah, I would want him in that sandbox. I wouldn't want to see him in the MCU sandbox.
Yeah.
He kind of seemed, though I loved him a lot, and it was good to see him. He just seemed a little bit more tuned down than what we saw obviously in TASM 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. I don't know.
Very good. Why do you sound so down?
I don't know. It's just I don't know. It kind of.
What? This is like exciting news. This
It's
is like
kind of
this
exciting.
is like fan service. This is like reaching for the stars. Like you sound like a hater right now.
Oh my fucking!
It sounds like you.
A hater to you.
It sounded like you did this, and opened up yourself a bottle of haterade.
I don't know if anyone heard that, but
I'm sure.
I don't know. It's just about.
It's because you
how
sound
characters-
more. You sound more upset that they're coming back when you would think that this would be the most exciting time as maybe like a comic book fan or a superhero fan.
Well, yeah, it's exciting for sure. It's just what are they gonna use him for? Is my thing. Because again, the difference between Wolverine and him is that Wolverine got an ending, and they're choosing to rip him out of a timeline and use him for whatever. Him, we know he's alive, and the only thing is that he didn't get a satisfying ending. He got he lost Gwen, and we see him in TASM 2 in No Way Home. That we know he got angry and stuff, and maybe No Way Home gave him closure, but we never get to see that. You know what I mean? Saving MJ, we got that little bit of closure from him, but we don't know how he's gonna act in his world now that he's fulfilled or whatever, quote unquote fulfilled. But like, I just don't want him wasted. That's all. I don't want them wasted when there is definitely more story to tell. Not just hey, there's Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. He's doing this with so and so.
Okay. All right. I guess rightfully skeptical.
Yes.
Rightfully skeptical. But I would say you should be a little bit more optimistic.
Like the idea,
and hope that they're gonna do something good.
Like if I could see Toby and Hugh Jackman shake hands, that shit would be sick. I wouldn't mind that. That'd be cool.
Toby and Hugh Jackman? That would be pretty cool. That'd be epic. If we could see like the original Mr. Fantastic and that Fantastic Four team see and meet Hugh Jackman as Wolverine,
be fucking cool.
That'd be cool. But see, that's what I'm saying. That sounds so dope in my head, but I just don't want it to just be like, hey, and then they just kind of, I want it. It has to be beautifully done, obviously. I agree with you with that. But I think they did a good job with No Way Home. Like I said, not as beautiful, I guess visually pleasing as TASM 1 and 2, but still, they did a good job, I think. And so I'm hoping the MCU does another good job, and let's just hopefully they make right decisions.
Hopefully.
But also, we got more rumors, right? More live action remakes coming from Disney.
Fuck.
And we need to know whether or not these are the right calls. So the first rumor is Florence Pugh being rumored to be number 1 in Disney's pick to play Rapunzel in Tangled. A live action Tangled remake.
I don't think so.
I mean, she looks like her.
She does, but I don't know.
I
don't know. I don't think so. She's a great actress, but I don't think so.
I would imagine somebody younger as Rapunzel.
Yeah.
Somebody more, I don't know. I feel like Florence Pugh looks more mature, and I think she has more of a younger, innocent look. And I think Florence Pugh, maybe from this picture, but I could see it, but I see that as being a safe bet. Honestly, she's a good. I think she's a great actress. I don't know. I think we would want somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know if her you had it right. Safe bet for sure, but yeah, it'll be lazy if they do go with her, because that's a safe bet.
Yeah, because I can't honestly off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of like somebody who can play her. I can't think. Jennifer Holland. James
No.
Gunn's wife?
Isn't she old as fuck too? What the fuck? Man.
Oh, she could play. I think she would honestly play a good evil mom, auntie, whatever she was.
She was evil mother.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I can't think of a blonde
I don't
person
know.
to take
There's-
this role.
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah. But another rumor as well, Lupita Nyong as Tiana for a live action Princess and the Frog remake.
Yeah,
I
I can kind of see it.
could see this one too, but I think I would prefer. I don't know if she can act, but like SZA would be like a perfect Tiana.
SZA.
I think that's just me. I'm trying to think of somebody else who could probably do it, but like an actress. No, I can't really. Not off the top of my head, but I think she would be good. But I mean, she was in Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
She was in Us. She was the mom, the evil,
Yeah.
the mom in the movie. I think she could do it too, but I think we can pick somebody else better as well. I hope this is not the top pick. I think we can for sure do a lot better than this one.
Yeah.
I don't even think that this is. I know you say you can see it, but I don't even think this is like a safe bet. This is kind of like a long shot for me.
That's weird.
What do you think? You think it's a safe
well,
bet?
yeah, I think it's kind of safe. I think this is like generic casting. Like they looked for her for people already in the works with them, so they didn't have to extend their hand too far. So I think she's a safe bet.
Haley Bailey would have been good as her. No,
Better than an Ariel.
better than an Ariel. Yeah, I don't know. This is another one that I couldn't see really happening. But if she and let's say too, I think she's a little too old too, Lupita Nyong, because I think Tiana is like young in the movie, right?
I have no idea.
You haven't seen it?
Haven't seen it in a minute.
I think she was like 20. Lupita Nyong is almost like 40. No,
God damn.
she's like 37 or something.
Damn. No. Why'd you say it like that?
I mean,
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to be mean about it.
No.
not trying to be rude about
A
it.
lot of these actresses are kind of like older now. I know it's kind of fucked up to say, but it's true.
Do you think that Disney's not trying to go for a live action remake, but a continuation now
No.
from the animation to live action?
No.
Because Florence Pugh, like I said, she looks a little bit more mature, a little bit more older. She doesn't look as young as as a young Rapunzel in the animated movie. Same thing with Lupita Nyong. She's like 40. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
She's like, she has to be like 37 or something like that.
Mm.
I don't know. Don't quote me, but
yeah.
if they're going for like older, and they were young in these animated movies, maybe that's probably going to be how they change course from, these live action remakes suck, and just make new stories later on from them.
That is a long shot for you to take for Disney, man. I don't know. I think you.
You think they still haven't learned their lesson, huh?
Yeah. I think this.
How many times we got to teach you this lesson, old man?
I think they're really trying to remake it and then just give it so that the princesses save themselves. Unfortunately,
I want to hope by the time these movies become like get into production,
that's not gonna happen.
that they change.
Lower your expectations a lot. No.
No, because I know that Disney's this massive ship that needs to take time to turn, but we've been saying for a few years now, enough's enough. Now the movies are actually flopping. Little Mermaid didn't do so well. There was another remake they put out recently that didn't do so well, The Haunted Mansion. I think they're understanding that people want to see new things, not really that our old stuff hacked up and changed into something different.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm fingers crossed, man. Maybe it's wishful thinking for me, but I'm hoping.
Hey, man, I'm not gonna burst your bubble. I'm just saying.
No,
When
you
that
went.
trailer-
You went.
When that trailer comes out and we see Rapunzel and Tiana still looking the same with these old actresses, you're gonna be like, well, what the fuck, bro? They didn't learn shit. The real question is, who asked for these motherfuckers? Why is Iger so fucking bent on making these movies?
Remakes.
He won't do the Humpback of Notre Dame, that coward, but he'll do these ones now.
Ah, that's a crazy one right there. I couldn't even tell you. I just think that, yeah, you're right. Remakes shouldn't be happening anyways. And if they're...
Stop the Disney remakes, man. They're not good. Take a hint. Holy fuck. They have not been good. I kind of like The Lion King. That's the only one. You've put out 10 of them bitches already. They are not good. Go back to making your own stories. If you really want a princess to save herself, just make a princess that saves herself. Stop trying to turn them into these heroes that they weren't before originally to be woke and with the times. No one asked for Snow White and the 7 normal fucking people, all right? We just don't want it. Disney, get it through your fucking head, your skull, man.
Yeah.
Way to reinforce me there, bro.
I got you, man. I'm right behind you. Fuck Disney. I mean, what? All right, we're moving on. So, Blue Beetle director coming out saying that he actually would want Bane to be played by Dave Bautista. For our Spanish speakers, it's the director, for those that don't speak Spanish, sorry. We don't speak Spanish on this podcast. We are purely English, so I'm going to have to translate this. But the director of Blue Beetle, what's his name one more time? Angel Manuel Soto came out in an interview because the cast cannot do it. Yeah. Union strike. When asked who he envisions to play Bane, he said that Dave Bautista watched Blue Beetle, enjoyed it, had talked to him about him playing Bane, and from then on, he honestly cannot see anybody else play Bane.
Yeah.
And that if in the new DCU, James Gunn gives him the opportunity to create Bane, he would want nobody else but Dave Bautista to play.
Fair enough.
We already heard that Dave Bautista came out and said that he's too old for it.
Yes.
That he would want a younger actor.
Once upon a time that he would have been, but now he's just too old.
Just too old. Do you think that this might be the push to bring him back? Do you still want to see him as that, or did you ever want to see him as...
Well, Bane? Yeah, I think he could do it. I think he got him... I think it's just... He got him at a bad time, like right at the end of his superhero career where he's trying to break out and do more stuff. Like, if he would have gotten him in his prime, like when he... Like, with the first Guardians movie or something like that, I know DC was in its train wreck, but if he would have gotten him then, he would have been, in the heels and, been moving quick. But he's at the end of his superhero career. I think after what happened with James Gunn and Guardians 3, like he's ready to move on. And that's not to say he hasn't lost his physique. Homie is stocky as fuck. Like, if we saw him in fucking, what is it?
Yeah.
Cabin in the Woods or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah, no, he's still
built.
I think he can still play Bane, like an older Bane. It wouldn't be a big deal. I just personally think, and I could be wrong, he could play a different character within James Gunn's DCU, but I think he knows the kind of treatment that he got with Bane, with Drax, and I think he would rather not.
That's why he's at the end of his career with superhero stuff.
Not just with superhero stuff, but just I would say personally, just knowing that how James Gunn works, I think that he would rather not, because he was very vocal on all kinds of press tours saying that he wants more nuance to his acting. He wants to be able to portray more in-depth characters, and that Drax, the Destroyer, became a giant teddy bear instead of what he was supposed to be within the MCU.
Yes.
He talked about it. At the end of the day, what did James Gunn do in Volume 3? The same shit again. Granted, he could have, like I said, behind closed doors, him and James Gunn could be cool, and he could have said, hey, you know what? We wrote you like this the first 2 movies. I'm sorry, dog. We're going to have to do it again. It's not my rules. It's the almighty Godfather Kevin Feige's rules. He could easily say that, and they could be cool, and he could totally come out in James Gunn's DCU. Or Bautista could be kind of bitter about it and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna use the excuse that I'm too old, and I would rather not be in his DCU.
Yeah, basically. I don't know. It could be a number of things, but he would have made a good Bane.
He would have made a good Bane, decent Bane. Is he not Mexican? I had seen somebody say, I think it was on Twitter or something like that, where they were like, oh no, I would want a Latino actor to play Bane. But I thought he was.
I thought he was too.
Is he not?
I don't know.
Let me Google it.
Not too sure.
I got my telefono right here. Hold on. Dave Bautista's ethnicity, ethnic background, Greek descent, Filipino.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool, actually, though.
That's a crazy mixture.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, I mean, he looks Latino, and that's good enough for me. Yeah.
If he can speak Spanish, he can have it.
100%. So I would say yes if they give him a chance, but like I said, I just wouldn't want him to be a dumbed down character in another James Gunn production. So
and even then, where would you put him? You know what I mean?
The new Batman movie that's going to be coming out,
Brave and the Bold?
They did say the Bat family is going to be introduced. There could be a round where the Bat family needs to take down a Bane.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be the same if we don't get to see Bane. Like the big luchador Bane break Batman.
That's true. So, I mean, still a mystery. We still don't know what's happening with the new DCU. And with this union strike, we are still waiting for production developments.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But, like I said, director doing his press tours. Another director biting off the Snyder apple. So, reviews are out for Blue Beetle.
Mm-hmm.
The director's doing the press tour. Like I said, actors cannot. Union strike. They say no talking about it. Angel Manuel Soto was speaking to Nestor Bentigator.
Yeah.
And basically said that there would be homages paid to Snyder's 2013 Man of Steel. Where did we hear this before? I don't know. Maybe The Flash. Oh shit. Sorry. Anyways, The Flash. But this is what Manuel Soto had to say about his homages. He says in this quote, "Waking up in Mexico to the news that Snyder wants to see it too, a director that I respect so much that his films are an immense influence." When Manuel Soto said, seeing that Snyder wants to see it, it's because Snyder had put up a Twitter post saying that he was going to take his kids to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But Manuel Soto goes on to say, even in Blue Beetle, there are some references to Man of Steel that we made out of honor and respect for the work and art of Zack Snyder. Also seeing David Ayer sharing it, it's like, wow, brother, how nice it feels to have the support from the people that one respects and that the fans also respect.
Well, that's cool.
I mean, it's cool that that Zack Snyder came out and promoted it.
Yeah.
So did David Ayer.
Mm-hmm.
He did say that it was a good representative movie for Latinos, and it was actually pretty fun.
However you put it.
I don't want to say, and this is a thing, and it sucks, because I don't feel right about it, because regardless of what anybody says, I like Zack Snyder's movies, and you can say, like, oh, if you like those movies, you're part of the Snyder cult or whatever, but I don't follow what people say. And I know a lot of people, and I have the reviews right here too from like what the early reviews are for on Blue Beetle. I've been skeptical of DC. And Andy Muschietti, when he was promoting The Flash, he even said himself too that he was paying homages to Zack Snyder and Zack Snyder's Justice League, that you're going to see some of that. And though there was that whole pointing thing in the little snippet of the Aquaman scene where Aquaman is pointing at Barry because they hit each other and fell on the staircase from fighting Superman.
Yeah,
we seen a little snippet of that. There was the whole 2013 what the day the Earth was introduced to Superman with the Flash saving the kid.
Yeah.
So there was homages, but are we gonna? There's so many questions I have. First is, are they lying to us again? Is this another push to try to pump out another fucking boo-boo ass movie that's not going to be good and say that it's great, silly, it's fun, it's goofy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's question number one. That's what I have. Number two, if it's going to reference Man of Steel once again, and this is supposed to take place within James Gunn's new DCU, how is he going to retcon that for Superman Legacy? And if that's the case, then that means that it wasn't paying homage to Snyder. It was showing you a sneak peek of what Superman Legacy has in store for Superman. So this could be clickbait.
Yeah, I have no idea what he means exactly. I'm tired of seeing, like, as cool as it is, like I said, to know where superheroes were during the whole Zero Black event. y'all do it ass. Y'all are so bad at quote unquote paying homage. It's honestly mad disrespectful. Like it's crazy that you guys want to keep doing this. And yeah, for sure. Like how is he paying homage? How is it directly tied to the DCU if you're using Man of Steel? This is the crazy fucking thing, because if it is clickbait, then holy shit, you are in for a world of fucking hurt, my guy, because those fans, they don't play. And if you're referencing something and they're like, well, what the fuck was that? Then they're going to come for your neck, bro. They do not play, man. They will come for your neck. They will come for your movie.
You think that is more about his safety at this point?
Honestly.
Because he's making a bold move right now.
Yep, you saw what happened with the Flash. Apparently they can control box office numbers. Apparently they can do all this and that. My guy, you would have been better off just not referencing Superman or Batman all at once.
That is well said as well. I have nothing more to add. I mean, you're right. They tore the Flash to shreds. It's still being dragged. Like I said, there was a good movie within all this mess, but studio meddling has once again struck. And I think Andy Muschietti should 100%. If we're giving Ayer his cut, I think Andy Muschietti deserves his cut too. Before all this studio interference and like 3 regimes asking for 3 different movies, I think the movie that he had set in place, I think we should have a chance to see that one day. But Blue Beetle, that one was in early development, so this one was able to be pumped out exactly how it was supposed to be made. Mm-hmm. Were things tweaked? Probably not big things, because regardless, they were still trying to. By this point in the Hamada regime, they were trying to move away from Man of Steel and all that. Anyways, so what homages can they really do? And if, like you said, if it's ass, he's gonna know about it because they're gonna let him know. And
you're gonna be like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see about that one. But let me get into some of these reviews, because some of them
sound generic.
They did kind of sound a little.
Do they sound? Do they? Let me see if I can guess a few. Okay, because we've like just maybe not the. Maybe they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is the best DC movie since Christopher Nolan." Is that one of them?
I have not read any of those, but
you haven't read any.
I've read a couple of them, but I didn't read anything.
The best DCU movie this year?
No, I've seen more silly, goofy.
Read me some.
All right, here we go. Eric Davis, Twitter user, says, I had a good time with Blue Beetle. Definitely feels like a cross between Spider-Man and Ms. Marvel, where family and culture is front and center, which I personally love. Big fan of the suit, and its powers offer endless initiative possibilities. Also, put George Lopez in all DC movies. That one's okay. Kind of decent.
Kind of tame. Mm-hmm.
He also, this is the same Eric Davis that said that The Flash was good too, by the way. Joshua Terry on Twitter as well says, Blue Beetle is a fun ride from start to finish, centered around family. Solo directed an awesome origin story movie with a hyper charismatic performance by Zolo as Jaime Reyes. I'm excited for people to see this. The future is bright for the DCU. Blue Beetle leads the way. Another Twitter user says, guess I can talk about Blue Beetle now. Saw it a few weeks ago and it's been genuinely difficult not holding my tongue. A breath of fresh air, not just for DC, but comic book movies. Period. Small, intimate story and character driven. Surprisingly, a very good movie. Another Twitter user says, Blue Beetle is DC's top-notch entry in the world of DCU, a heartfelt origin story that takes you back to Iron Man era, with action sequences straight from anime world.
Iron Man era.
Zolo Mardibuena is Jaime Reyes, delivering an outstanding performance. You don't want to miss this one. Rating 10 out of 10, he says. Motherfucker says 10 out of 10. Another Twitter user, the Blue Beetle movie is mostly a blast. Some is too silly or childish for me. A lot had me laughing loud. George Lopez. Practical suit rocks. The Latino representation is awesome. Enjoyed the family-centric stakes. Solid action beats overall. It's fun. And that's basically all I got. Rotten Tomatoes still doesn't have any critic score or audience score. So, hearing these reviews, I know I heard you say Iron Man era. Got any questions? Do these sound generic? Do these sound like they are appealing for you? What do you think?
Not appealing. Iron Man era is a bold claim because we haven't.
I'll say right now, the CGI in those trailers do not even match the Iron Man era.
Depending on where you stand with the aisle, we haven't been near Iron Man level in years. Depending on where you stand with that, so that's bold. That is very bold. If you, that's actually really scary. And then giving it a 10 out of 10, holy fuck, man! There's no way. That is, I believe that's cap. As far as Zolo's performance and them talking about it, I believe that shit. Because again, I've seen him in Cobra Kai. I know his range, so he's a decent actor. I just don't know how well he can perform in a big budget thing, but I know he does pretty good TV wise.
Okay.
George Lopez, he's always funny. I always think he's funny.
Obviously, we're gonna have a good time with him. In the movie. I think everybody every time we see the trailer in the movie theater when like the Flash was out and everything, everybody would laugh at the Batman's a fascist. I think his line delivery for that line is just spot on for it. But I did find a couple more, and I think I found one you'll be particularly interested in. So this Twitter user says Blue Beetle is fantastic fun, funny, surprisingly heartfelt, with a star-making turn by Zolo Marduena. The kid has it. Director Angel Manuel Soto makes Latinos' supposed invisibility into a full-on superpower. Truly inspiring. I also want the Abuela origin story now. And then this is the one that I think you'll find interesting. Blue Beetle is my favorite post-Nolan DC film. It's an action-packed, highly entertaining superhero story about family, and there's nothing more important than family. The film is unique in that it lovingly and unabashedly shares the Reyes family Mexican culture.
Post-Nolan? That's what I'm talking about. What are people talking about when they say that? Post-Nolan.
Trilogy?
Like, we haven't had bangers. The third one is controversially known as the worst one. There's no way.
It's so good, though.
Whatever.
Jesus.
Whether it's good or not is not up for debate. I'm not debating that. I'm saying that one split the fan base of the Nolan trilogy for sure.
But it's good, though.
Okay. No, I don't know what you want me to say to that. But all I'm saying is that it has a mixed fan base.
But it's good.
And
I want you to say
not if it's mixed.
It's because you say a mixed fan base, and you're not defining which side, which leads me to believe you don't like the movie. So I want you to say it has a mixed fan base, and it's a good movie.
Well, it's alright, I guess. It's not the worst thing. It's definitely not bad. It's just not the best either. Honestly, the second one still outshines it for me. But that's besides the point.
Even with Bane?
Yeah. Bane was good, though. He was one of the highlights for me. That's what kind of like...
Was it too boring for you?
Not really. I just kind of find it lackluster. Like, I didn't really like Talia's twist. I didn't like Ra's al Ghul coming back. I did like the villains taking over the city. I kind of enjoy that every time it happens in the comics. When it happens to Batman in the games, like that's fun. That's cool. Like it had a lot of fun elements. It's just, I don't know, it kind of just falls short. Same with action. A lot of the set pieces I think are also kind of boring. Like just technical things like that.
Okay,
but arguably, you know.
Yeah, I can say divisive because
yes.
I can rebuttal all those if I wanted to, but we're not gonna go deep into that. I just was kind of curious about it. But
like we've had bangers since Nolan.
Yeah,
people just don't want to acknowledge that shit.
They just don't want to admit it.
Yeah,
they'll acknowledge they're there. They just don't want to. It's kind of like, for some reason, it's this big deal to be like
if Zack Snyder's fucking Voldemort. Like make it make sense.
Even then. We had Joker. You telling me you didn't like Joker post Nolan? Like Joker wasn't a good... I thought that was actually a good... I've honestly only seen it one time. A good one watch, but it was a fucking phenomenal movie. I thought it was great.
Either homie is smoking that pack or he hasn't seen a movie since the last Nolan movie came out, which was, 2012?
I'm just saying, man. They say shit like this, and then we also get shit like The Flash is the best comic book movie of 2023. What packs are they smoking? That's that's the things that like I just don't understand is that we get these conflicting. So I don't know how to feel about Blue Beetle still. These reviews don't help out either.
No, they don't.
I've been on the fence about this movie. I know we're still gonna have to go see it. We have to go see it because it's a DC movie.
Yeah. It's
It's this Friday, right? It's coming out this
yeah,
Friday.
Yeah. We'll make time for it at some point.
Yeah. So
Look out for that. Notifications on. But
yeah.
I'm only skeptical because of the last DC movie that did me dirty, and you can totally tell me like, hey, the Flash is a once in a lifetime circumstance. It can't happen twice, but
you got to understand.
But Shazam happened before the Flash.
Yeah,
so
we're on a
like,
downhill spiral.
Yeah, so it's like this is going to like third strike type shit, like I was telling you.
I mean, Black Adam happened first though.
I like Black Adam.
I know.
My first strike didn't happen till Shazam.
I know. Mine's happened with Black Adam. No, Birds of Prey. Yeah. Even though I liked it, it just wasn't what I was looking for. I was like, DC, what are you doing, DC?
You just hate women.
No. Oh man, no, that's not true.
But what do you call it? I'm only skeptical because it's a DC movie. I'm sure it can bang. Like I have no problem being wrong about it. It's just things like that scare the fuck out of me, and then calling it a mix of Spider-Man and Miss Marvel, that is not what I wanted to hear at all.
No.
That sounds so MCU.
Anime?
That sounded so MCU coded. Actually, I like anime, so if there's elements of it, I don't mind that shit. But like MCU stuff, I don't want to hear that in a DC movie at all.
I guess that's another thing as well. That's true. Yeah, I just don't know with this movie. And if, let's say, this does generate hype, is there a payoff in this movie? Are we gonna get a glimpse of what's to come with the new DCU? Is this?
I heard it has 2 post-credit scenes.
Yeah, but is that gonna? I mean,
are they gonna lead anywhere?
Yeah, we had a post-credit. Did we have one in the Flash? No, huh?
No, we didn't.
I'm trying to remember.
No,
huh?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they did. The Momoa.
Oh, that didn't go anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. So, are we gonna get end credit scenes like that, or are we gonna actually get an end credit scene that shows you? Are we gonna get some half-bit corn sweat and Superman come down to Blue Beetle and be like, "It's been a long time since you made the world shake this bad." I don't know. I don't remember the whole line from Black Adam.
You're dumb. That's just tough. I really hope these post-credit scenes do show the future, because at least then it'll give us something to look forward to. Maybe not Aquaman 2, but something.
I will say, I think it's going to be a rough first week. I will say, I think if there's a payoff that happens at the end of this movie and word of mouth goes around and says, it's epic, it's fucking cool, like it's going to lead up to something cool, then will they get a lot of tickets.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I even hype around this movie, besides the fucking Blue Beetle Battalion, you see them over there in a fucking corral.
Yeah, and just like, whoa, in the back, you're just like, who the fuck?
Yeah, like,
I didn't even know, what does that say? Blue Beetle Battalion?
Yeah,
Goofy fucks?
Hashtag? I'm like, bro.
There's no fucking way, man.
So, you got the Blue Beetle Battalion that's going to go watch the movie the first week. So, depending on how their reaction comes out, I mean, they're still going to obviously be like, wow, this movie's so good, but they're going to post clips and shit like that. And, it'll generate hype if it's actually worth the hype. But if it's not, this movie will be another flop in the bucket of DC.
Unfortunately.
And I guess at this point, it's just the competition of who does it the worst. Because at first it was Shazam 2. And then The Flash was like, hold my beer. Will Blue Beetle be like, hold my keg? Like,
dude, no. The Flash was hold my keg. Blue Beetle sipping on orange juice talking about, man, I feel kind of high. Like, there's no way. Like,
I'm really optimistic about this.
The Flash kind of just like belly flopped in a diving competition. Like, there's no way. You know what I'm talking about?
I get you.
0 out of 10s across the board. It's just Blue Beetle has a really hard line to cross where it could be really good, or mid, just above mid, to be like, oh, this was a decent watch, or this can just be another fucking fail for DC. It's really a toss about where it can go. These, like you said, these critic scores, I don't listen to critics anyway, but like none of these sound positive. They're not in any way.
It's not critics. It's from early screenings, general audience.
Early screenings really don't. I still don't listen to them. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I don't know how to feel.
You listen to Tom Cruise for a second?
Because it's Tom Cruise.
Oh, okay.
It's Tom Cruise. If he tells me to jump out of a plane, I'm jumping out of that motherfucker.
Please don't. Will you have?
But I will.
Will you have a parachute on?
But I'm not gonna do it free falling. I'd rather kick him out the plane and then pilot that.
What if he told you do it free falling? What if he was
I'm taking him with me.
What if he was like, okay, you get a parachute, but you got to do it free balling?
I'd probably no. I was kidding. I don't think I'd do that. Hold my pants.
On the way down, you hear his.
That's funny. No. Tom Cruise. You should always like. I would listen to Tom Cruise.
I'd
fuck
after the Flash. I'd never listen to him ever again. And if we see him as the Green Lantern in one of these future DC movies, I'm gonna be like, you fucking sell out, you fucking asshole. But questions for y'all. I hope these made you hyped. These comments or these reviews made you hyped for the Blue Beetle. The Blue Beetle Battalion needs your support.
More or less.
Well, I'm not a part of them, but just to give them a shout out. But with that being said, that's going to be the last topic of this episode. If there's anything that we missed, any topics that you guys want us to talk about, any movies you want us to review, if you guys want to support us in a big way or just interact with us, hey, Josh, let them know where they can let us know.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. You can hit us up there for any news or movies you want us to cover. Like I said, we will be doing a Blue Beetle review, so totally look out for that when we decide to put it out. Keep your notifications on. That's what I mean. Listen to us on the go, wherever you get your podcasts. That's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Music, anywhere you get them. We're on a bunch of sites, so go check us out there. Listen to us on, not listen to us. Support us in a big way. Buzzsprout, links are in those bios at FilmBros Podcast on the socials I just gave you. Subscribers get special perks, only meant for subscribers, shout outs on our episodes, so go ahead and do that. It'll really help us out. And like I said, you get special things out of it. When it's all said and done, subscribe to our YouTube at FilmBros Podcast.
Yep. Blue Beetle Battalion, we out.
Okay. Talk to you later.